Hi, this is Nat with the Other Side Nursery. Today we will be repotting some weedy, overgrown sundews. So I have a bad habit of just kind of leaving things to the last minute when I could really just work on it earlier in the season, but then I just keep on pushing things back. So things just get overgrown and kind of a mess like this over here. There are worse ones, but I just got ones that are just kind of in between where I can still easily change things out. Because there are pots that will look like this over here that I have to go through, but I'll just leave that for another moment. So yeah, first of all, you would need new pots. You can reuse old pots as long as you clean it out. You can use soap and water. You can spray down with alcohol. But for today, I think I'll just use new pots. Other things you will need would be the potting soil. It's a mixture of half perlite, half peat moss. So just standard potting soil, or I'm sorry, standard carnivorous plant soil. Half perlite, half peat moss. I have a whole bucket on the floor over there. And if you've been to this shop before, you'll notice that our counter is always full of soil, and this is why. So make sure that everything is nice and wet, which it should be year round anyway. I would just kind of gently squeeze it, shake it a little bit, and as you can see here, it's full of roots. So I do have some Venus flytraps in there also that I'll be saving, but I usually start removing the moss. Like any kind of moss that grows on top, you can easily regrow moss, so that's not a problem. Ripping out some of the weedy stuff, and I like to look through it just to make sure I'm not ripping out any kind of seedling also, just because sundews will reseed readily, and I just don't want to end up throwing any of those away. So just kind of looking through everything that I'm ripping out. With sundews, their root system is pretty shallow, so you shouldn't have any kind of issues with root binding. So I have my first sundew over here. So I already ripped out a lot of the thicker stuff, so now I'm just gonna wiggle away, not too hard. As you can see, it's kind of detaching itself. So here's my first sundew, and I am gonna rip out some more of the top moss and top little like weeds, stuff like that. Just ripping out some more so that it doesn't get overgrown. Almost done. Let's show you. Oh, yeah. So there's still some left. Yeah, just cleaning it up. It's fairly easy. It's easy, but the moss is pretty small, so that's why I'm not struggling with it, but taking a little bit more time with it, because I want to get all the moss out, well, as much as I can, because the soil will always be full of moss spores, especially in wet environment. So yeah, here's the root system, and the sundew. This one is Drosera, binata, or Drosera. Latin, we all say different things. So yeah, I'm gonna grab a pot. I'm filling it with soil in case you're wondering what I'm doing. So you don't want to compact it too hard. You just want to make sure that it's hard enough so that it doesn't completely sink in when you start watering it. And I just kind of mound it like this a little bit. It will sink down. With this sundew, what you do is just kind of poke a hole in it, like you can see my finger just kind of down. until you get a hole. And then just put this in that, and then just push the excess soil back in, and you're essentially done. Next, I would water it from the top and let it sit in the water, sit in a little tray of water so that it can absorb all the water it can get, and just kind of leave it in water because they grow in a bog condition anyway. So yeah, this one is done. Drosera binata, the forked sundew. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or email us at info@theothersidenursery.